Hello class, welcome to part 2 of the test 1 review. The next question that you're going to get is where you're converting, and the practice one just has a going from centimeters, 16 centimeters to millimeters. Remember, there are 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters, so we're going to have 1 centimeter. Our conversion is going to have millimeters on top, centimeters on bottom. So it's going to be 16 centimeters times 10 millimeters over 1 centimeter. The centimeters will cancel. We're left with millimeters, so we're going to have 16 times 10, which is 160 millimeters. You may also need to write it as a scientific notation. You shouldn't though, but if you do, it's going to be 1.6 times 10 to the 2. If you write it as 160, even if the computer marks you wrong, I will fix it so that it's correct. I just noticed that on some of the practice ones, that's how it was written for some reason. Okay, then the next, we're going to solve an equation. Let's say that we have 20x minus 2 equals 19x minus 11. For this, it's already all the like terms are combined for each side, and so I want my x to be positive, so I'm going to move the 19 over to this side. So I'm going to subtract 19x from both sides. Since I'm moving the x's to the left, I'm going to move my numbers to the right, so plus 2 on both sides. When I do that, 20x minus 19x is just 1x equals negative 11 plus 2 is minus 9. Next, it's going to say that Jane rode her bike for 18 miles from home to the library to the beach, and from the house to the library is 4 miles. So what is the distance from the library to the beach? So we know the total is 18 and she went 4, so we're going to subtract and we're going to get 14 miles. Now let's say that we have 4 over 9x equals 7 over 3. So what we're going to do is just multiply by the reciprocal, 9 over 4 and 9 over 4. These will cancel. We're going to get x equals. We can simplify this to make it easier. Divide the 3 and the 9 both by 3. So this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 4 is 4. Next, you'll get one that has a bit more to it. Let's say we have 9 minus 6 equals 3 plus 4 in parentheses x plus 2. So the first thing we need to do is distribute the 4. So 4 times x and 4 times 2, so it becomes 4x plus 8. Now we need to combine like terms on both sides. We can do 9 minus 6 is 3 equals, we have 3 plus 8 is 11 plus 4x. Now we'll subtract the 11 from both sides because it is a positive now. 3 minus 11 is negative 8 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals a negative 2. Then a word problem where it costs $68 for 7 tickets. How many is each one? We're just going to divide, and it says to round to the nearest cent. On this example, you do have to round. I don't know on the one that you get for your test if you will have to. We're going to go 7 into 68.00. 7 goes into 68 9 times. 9 times 7 is 63. We're left with 5. Bring the 0 down. 7 goes into 57 times. 7 times 7 is 49. Bring the 1 down. We have a 10. It goes in 1 time. 7. We have a 3 left over. So we need to add a 0. 7 will go into 34 times. And we're going to get a 2 remainder. That's as far as we need to go because we just need to round to the nearest cent. Since 4 is smaller than 5, our answer is going to be $9.71. Now, let's say that we have x minus 9 over 8 equals 7 over 8. We can do this 2 ways. We only have the one denominator on here, and they are the same. So we can either keep it as a fraction now, or we can get rid of fractions to begin with. Because of, let's go ahead and get rid of our fractions. Multiply everything by 8. So we're going to get 8x minus 9 equals 56. Add the, equals 7. Add the 9. We get 8x equals 7 plus 9 is 16. Divide both sides by 8. We get x equals 2. If we want to just keep the fraction, we can say 8 minus 9 over 8 equals 7 over 8. Add the 9 over 8 to both sides. X equals 16 over 8, which equals 2. On this one, it doesn't matter which way you do it, you're going to get the same thing. The next one is one with decimals. 1.7x plus 0.35 equals 0.2x plus 1.25. For this one, I'm just going to keep everything as a decimal. I'm going to move the 0.2x over to here because 1.7 is bigger than 0.2. So I'm going to subtract 0.2x. And because I'm moving the x's to the left, I'm going to move the numbers to the right. So minus 0.35. When I do that, I'm going to get 1.7 minus 0.2 is 1.5x equals 1.25 minus 0.35 is 0.9. Divide both sides by 1.5. I'm going to do that in long division. So I'm going to bring this decimal right to here. But 15 won't go into 9, so I need to put a 0 in. And 15 will go into 9 6 times. 6 times 15. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9, 0. So our answer is 0.6. Next, let's say we have 2 times x minus 3, then minus 8 equals 24x minus 190. First thing is distribute the 2. 2x minus 6 minus 8 equals 24x minus 190. You're going to combine like terms. 2x minus 14 equals 24x minus 190. Since 24x is bigger than 2x, I'm going to move my x's to the right, which means I'm going to move my numbers to the left. So minus 2x minus 2x plus 190 plus 190. Here I'm going to get 22x equals 176. Divide both sides by 22. 2 will go into 17 8 times, so that's what I'm going to guess. That is an 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So our answer here is 8. This one is another fraction problem. 3 over 5 x minus 3 over 10 equals negative 1 over 10. Now this one, it will be better for you to just go ahead and get rid of the fractions. So the least common denominator is 10. So I'm going to multiply this by 10, this by 10, this by 10. When I do that, 10 divided by 5 is 2, times 3 is 6x, minus 10 divided by 10 is 1, so minus 3 equals 10 divided by 10 is 1, times negative 1 is negative 1. Then I'm going to add the 3 to both sides. I'll be left with 6x, negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. Divide both sides by 6, x equals, and because we can simplify the 2 and the 6, we can make that 1 over 3. Then we're going to get f equals ma, solve for a. When we do that, we want a by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by m. Those cancel. A equals f divided by m. And that's all it's asking me to do on that one. Next, 95% of what number is 133? So we know the p, and we know the, that's a question. We know the a, so we're going to have 133 over b equals 95 over 100. You're going to multiply, or cross multiply. 95b equals 13300. Divide both sides by 95. When we do that, it's going to go 195 and 38 0. That will go 4. Bring down the 0. So the answer here will be 140. You can set this up in any way that you want, that you think is easier. I set it up with the a over b equals p over 100. You can just do it as a straight multiplication if that's the way you prefer. Okay, next is a word problem, and it says that it starts out with 301 parts per million, and then it later goes to 369 parts per million. Find the increase and then the percent increase to 2 decimal places. So to find the increase, we just need to subtract. 369 minus 301, and we're going to get 68. So now we're going to do 68 divided by our original, which is 301, times 100. When we do that, we're going to get 22.59%. We're just going to go 68 divided by 301 times 100. The next one is a little bit longer. It says that a person has a bag with quarters and dimes. There are 63 coins, and they add up to $11.70. So we know that quarters plus dimes equals 63, and quarters over 25, so 0.25, plus dimes are worth 10, so 0.25Q plus 0.1D equals 11.70. So solve for one of these. I'm going to solve for dimes. So dimes equals 63 minus Q. So now I'm going to have 0.25Q plus 0.1, 63 minus Q equals 11.7. Now I'm going to have 0.25Q. I have to distribute the 0.1, so it's going to be plus 6.3 minus 0.1Q equals 11.7. Combine like terms, so it's going to be 0.15Q plus 6.3 equals 11.7. Subtract the 6.3 from both sides. I'm going to be left with 5.4 equals 0.15Q. Divide both sides by 0.15. Need to move the decimal over 2 spots. 15 will go into 54 3 times. 3 times 15 is 45. I'm left with 9 and 6. So 36 quarters. And then I'm just going to say 36 plus D equals 63. Subtract 36. D will equal 727. That one takes a while, but if you take it step by step, you'll be able to get it. Next, we're given a triangle, and let's say one side is 14.5, another side is 19.5. Perimeter equals 52.4, so find the third side. The 3 sides together add up to 52.4, so we can say 52.4 equals 14.5 plus 19.5 plus X. 52.4 equals 14.5 plus 19.5 equals 34.0.